Kate Daly Show.
I saw a film about a rich kid.
All right. Hi. Welcome back. Kate Daly Show, and happy to have you. I've got Uncle Milty, of course, and we have Mel Madison. At this time on Tuesdays, Mel joins us, and I'm always really happy that he does. It's always a fun conversation. He was just talking about the Elon Trump conversation that they had, and the interview, and immigration was brought up. Did you want to comment on this, Mel? Mel, are you there?
Yes, I'm
okay.
here.
Sorry about that. Did you want to comment on immigration?
Well, I did find a couple of things that Elon mentioned regarding immigration. So one of them was just putting things in perspective of how small the United States population is in regards to the rest of the world. You know, let's say it's 330 million. That sounds like a lot of people. But when you have over 7 billion, close to 8 billion people, and you do the math, it's like 4.8% of the world's population. So even if something as small as, let's say, 2.5% of the rest of the world decides they want to try to come to this country in, let's say, the next 8 years, that 2.5% represents over half of the current population of the United States. And so this open border, you know, the numbers that we're getting are obviously untrue. Trump mentioned this. He's like, it's probably 20 million that have come in. And I think we're seeing that also show up in the unemployment numbers that the Bureau of Labor Statistics is putting out, because they're getting these higher unemployment numbers, and yet we're not really seeing a lot of layoffs. And so I think what's happening is people are coming in, they're claiming benefits, and these benefits are starting to show up also being paid out around health insurance in the national financial statements that come out every month. The Treasury just released it yesterday, and it shows that over $500 billion so far this fiscal year has been paid out just in payments to the states for Medicaid, for insurance for low income unemployed supportive people. There is some people with serious disabilities and stuff that get some of that money. I'm not arguing against that, but we know these Medicaid, and this is not Medicare for elderly, but Medicaid for working age people. These rolls are inflated, and the amount of money that's going out, it's just no longer possible to continue the path that we're on, especially when you look at how much we're now paying in interest on our debt.
I was watching a show and they kept saying immigration was has always been the standard of this country. And I'm like, you're leaving out the word legal. Legal immigration was always the standard of the country going back to the founding documents, but they seem to always want to leave that word out. So it just drives me insane. It's legal immigration, right? Oh my gosh.
It's like children, you used to want to have a lot of children because you had a farm and you needed to put them to work at 6 years old, and they actually contributed immediately.
Right.
When we used to get a lot of immigrants, there was no Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment insurance
system.
I mean, you came over here with maybe the gold watch that your grandfather left you, and that's all you had. You sold it, you got money, and you started working. There was no drain on the social. There was no social safety net to be drained. I mean, whether it was legal, illegal, it wasn't legal, and we needed people. We had a whole country to settle.
The socialism systems,
But that also explains why 95% of immigrants died back then.
Well, I mean,
exactly.
They
and a lot of them didn't go back. What they're doing now is they're coming here to work for 4 months, then they go back, then they send all the money out of the country, all the remittances. We did a whole show on remittances before, and how much more money is going to all these countries like Mexico and Venezuela, because they can track that roughly. And so this is just a drain. I mean, it's literally they come here. Not to
mention the criminals.
They take our jobs. By providing excess labor,
right? And
they
then
reduce
go ahead.
wages.
You said something about empathy too, because you were wondering why they didn't have empathy for all these other people affected by immigration, and only empathy for who brought that up? Elon
actually brought that up, of just saying, I think he was really trying to pitch Trump to people who typically might be Democrats or maybe moderates or independents, and just saying, look, this whole thing about, you have to be empathetic towards the illegal immigrants. Well, he's like, look, these are prisoners. Like, this is not just, hardworking. Like, you have to be empathetic to the victims, to the people that are getting raped, to the people that are getting killed, to the police officers that are getting shot.
Right.
And that's happening more and more and more.
Yeah, true. Uncle Milty?
Well, I just don't see any reason why we shouldn't just go back to the days where if you're an immigrant, you can't gain entitlement benefits because then they come here to be Americans.
Right.
They don't come here to become Americans anymore.
Well, yeah, and they want to change the ideology.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's so much more to this topic. Be right back. Kate Daly Show, KateDalyRadio.com. More with Mel Madison and Uncle Milty. Be right back.
Hey, it's Jesse with AWP. It's so bleeping hot outside.